Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you, wherever you are in your different time zones around the world and across the country. Here we are once again. It's Thursday. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast. It's 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning at 1 a.m. in London, and it's 10 a.m. in Tokyo, Japan. Also a Friday, and they're having breakfast right now, getting ready for work or getting ready to start their day. Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Allan, and welcome aboard to another edition of Talk Back Live. That's the name of the show. We're coming to you live from New York City. That's where we originate, and we're all around the world. No matter where you go, you can always catch us. And we are here for the next hour. And the purpose of the show is to get a lot of you involved in the show. Now, just in case you're a newcomer to the show, this is how it works. As the host of the show, you know, I'm going to get started and I'm going to throw out topics and then we'll get the ball rolling. But in the meantime and in between time, you can enjoy the show just as well by chiming in and typing your thoughts, because you can talk to us live as we talk to you. I will see all of your thoughts and your comments right there. And right there on the big screen, you can type it right in there. I will see it and I will entertain all of your thoughts and ideas. And we'll conversate together. You can talk about anything you want. That's the name of the show, Talk Back Live. So it's free exchange of ideas and of opinions. And we're all around the world, as I said, and we come from 3 different places. We're live on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and live on Instagram. So you can pick any one of those 3, and you can check us out. Make sure you tell your friends and family to get involved too, if they're not, because if they get part of the show, they will probably enjoy it just like you and become newcomers as well. And for you oldies, you already know what to do. You already know the protocol. We invite all of you, by the way, if you're watching us on Facebook, please take the time and take the show and I was going to say shove it. No, I was going to say that. So I'd say take the show and tag it to your friends. You can do that right now if you're watching us on Facebook. They will see that tag, and what they'll do is they'll get involved. They'll see the information right there. They'll see the notification. They'll click onto that notification and it will bring them directly here to us. And you will be there. They'll see you. They'll see other people who will be here, and they can talk to others. They can talk to me. They can talk to you. That's how it works. Now, the rest of you who are watching us on YouTube, we invite you to make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You're on it. Subscribe to it right now. And for you to do that is just to click that button where it says subscribe. Now, it could be in black. It could be in red. It just says subscribe. Whatever color. I don't care if it's green. Whatever it is, it says subscribe. Click onto that button with your mouse, right? And once you do that, you'll be part of it. You'll be part of the action. Therefore, it'll give you an opportunity to know whenever we come on live, or if we so much post a photo or a video or something to that nature, you'll get notification. Providing you're online, you'll see it and you can click right on to it. Simple as that. You don't need a credit card, union card, or any form of ID or anything of that nature. You're just in. Once you click on, you're just in. And remember, for you guys who are new, you're just as important as the people who have been here a long time. And for those of you who are watching us on Instagram, we just want to say hi to you. You don't have to do anything in particular. All you have to do is follow us and keep following us, and tell your friends and family all about us. Well, we've got a show coming up, as we do. We do it normally, right? In conjunction with interacting with you, we're going to do our regular thing. We have our show with Brian Camp, who will be on in just a few minutes, and he's going to come along and we come to him live. You're going to get a chance to meet him. You'll get a chance to meet him. You'll see him. He'll come on live from Charlotte, North Carolina, and he's going to bring us the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And of course, you'll get a chance to know all the stats in sports, and he'll have all of that coming up. And that's just a few minutes from now, and a whole lot of things. And of course, later on too, we'll give you on this day in history, We have that information for you too. On this day in history, we have history-making things that happen on this particular day. We have that information coming for you. And then later on in the program, before the show is over, we're going to give you what we call our picks of the week for the weekend. Movies that are classics and movies that I think you're going to like. And we'll pass it along to you because a lot of you people do things on the weekend, and some of you like to add on to your weekend catching up with old movies, right? The weekend, you can do anything with it. And if that's part of the action too, I have movies that will add to your bucket list of what to watch for this weekend. So all of that is coming up. And remember that all of the views and the opinions on this show, Talk Back Live, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people from Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or any other media outlet, such as social media outlet or broadcast facility. So there you are. And we're here. And we thank you so much for being along with us. Now, if you're going to join us, again, tell your friends about us. That's the most important thing. Tell your friends about us. A lot of you are getting ready for work right now. I know the people in Japan, it's early morning right there in Japan. So they're getting ready to start their day. For the rest of us, well, we're out here with you. And of course, it's going to be a lot of fun and we're going to enjoy ourselves, I promise you. And if you're very new to the program, just hang in there, and because you never know, you may be back again and again. Don't make it your last time though. Please don't. Okay, so we've got things going on, and we hope that you had a wonderful long weekend, right? You had a long weekend, right? It was kind of long, right? Because it was President's Day. President's Day is what we had. And so we were off Monday. So it's a short week for you, right? It's a short week. And after tomorrow, after you finish the day tomorrow, you go back on the weekend circuit. So we had it. Because we celebrated President's Day. Now, you know, a long time ago when we celebrated President's Day, it was, we celebrated twice because we only celebrated two presidents at that particular time, Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. And anytime that the holiday fell on the 16th of February, everybody would take that day off, no matter what day it was or what day it fell on, because basically now all of the holidays fall on a Monday. But on the 16th, they would take off. On the 22nd, they would take off. That would be the birthday of George Washington. They would take off on that day too. But now it's President's Day. So we celebrate all of the presidents, past, present. You know, we celebrate them all. That's why we call it President's Day. And that's why we took that long weekend. And so there you go. And here we are today on the 23rd. This is the 23rd of February. And the 23rd of February, you know something, the 23rd of February, come to think of it, it's a special kind of, it's kind of personal to me. And I just want to send a shout out. The 23rd of February, there was a young lady in my life, beautiful young lady in my life who's no longer with me. And she passed away about 12, 13 years ago. And she had a heart of gold, I loved her. She was great. That's Michelle Neary, who's no longer with me. So I just want to pay homage to her. On the 23rd, this would have been her birthday today. So happy birthday, Michelle, wherever you are. And I hope that you are in God's hand. And the 22nd, of course, that's Washington's birthday, right? And the 22nd of February is another personal day to me. It's another, the 22nd and the 23rd. 22nd is also personal because the 22nd of February, my grandmother or my mom's side would have been celebrating her birthday. That would have been yesterday. So, and I loved my grandmother. She was great. I used to love the idea of going to her house on the weekend, spending the weekend with her. I'll tell you why. Because with her, I got away with murder. She spoiled me rotten. She spoiled me rotten. Things I couldn't get away with my mom, I got away with my grandmother, you know, because she spoiled me. It was great. And my mom wasn't having it, you know. But I just used to love to spend the weekend with her, you know, at her house. The only thing was, the catch was, is that on Saturday night around 7 o'clock, I was always forced to watch the Lawrence Welk show. She loved that show. So that was and I used to think I was on punishment, that I was forced to watch that show. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, that was not my idea of a Saturday night. But I was at her house watching her TV. It's not like she tied me to a chair or anything and said, you have to watch this show. If you want to watch TV for an hour, you got to watch Lawrence Welk. And that's what I did. I don't know. I don't know. I thought I was being punished. I said, why? Why me? What did I do? What did I do? Anyway, that was the whole, but I did love spending the time with her, even with Lawrence Welk too. A one and a two and a thank you, boys. I'm gonna get a danza. Look, you know something, I'm not going to say any more about the Lawrence Welk show because I don't want to offend any Lawrence Welk fans out there. I'm pretty sure there are a lot out there. But if you want to watch Lawrence Welk, those of you who don't know who he is, he comes on the PBS stations now. He's in rerun. He's no longer with us, but his show never died. And you can turn to any public station, PBS station, and he may be programmed into one of those PBS stations. Now, if you ever get a chance to watch the show, have a cheeseburger, hamburger, and a beer or whatever, and see if you could hold it down. I'm going to let it go. I'm not going to let it. I don't want to offend anyone. If you're a Lawrence Welk fan, congratulations. Thank you so much. But I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here. A one and a two, and I'm glad that you're here. Okay, and we are in the midst of Black History Month. You already know that. I talk about that for the whole entire month because that's what it is. And in conjunction with Black History Month, they have programs that you can watch on TV. There are movies. I just got finished watching a movie before I came on the air. I was watching in the green room, a movie with Sidney Poitier called that was done back in 1950, and that was called No Way Out, and that was his real young days in Hollywood. And I just got finished watching that movie. And there are more. If you go on Turner Classic Movies, you'll see there are more too. There are a lot of them, but we'll talk more about those movies later on. But Black History Month, I also suggest that if you're living in New York, go to the Jackie Robinson Museum. I'm pushing that because it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful place to be, and you can learn a lot. And it's in New York City, and you can Google it and find the address and a telephone number, and you'll be all set. And if you're visiting New York, make that part of your tourist attraction. Take time, go there. It's inexpensive to get in there, and you can stay there as long as you like, but I got to tell you something. If you're living in New York, if you're living in New York, you're going to have to go back and forth, unless, of course, you're going to spend the whole day there. I don't know how many people has time to do that. But if you're a tourist, suck in as much information from the museum as you can, and I think you'll like it. That's one of my suggestions for all of you to go there and check it out. That's the museum, Jackie Robinson Museum. Okay, in Hollywood, as you already know, we have a few things that I want to talk about in show business. We lost a few people, and Richard Belzer. You know who Richard Belzer is? One of the people who began his career as a comedian, and then he went into the iconic roles of a lot of police detective stories. He played the character of John Munch. Now, do you know who he is? And he first came on Homicide, then Life on the Street, and then you might remember him from this one. Law and Order SVU. Now he's more familiar. You probably familiarize yourself with that one because he was on there. Anyway, he passed away last Sunday, and we don't have a particular any items or any kind of information on what the cause was, but that's not very important. He was 78 years old. So we want to send our condolences out to his family, friends, his co-workers, people who knew him and worked with him as well. Also, R&B singer Chuck Jackson, who placed nearly 30 singles on the Billboard Hot 100 chart during the 1960s. He passed away as well. He passed away Thursday, as a matter of fact. And he was best known for the 1962 hit Any Day Now. Any Day Now. And that song reached #2 on the trade magazines and R&B charts, number 23 on the R&B charts, and on 23 on the Hot 100, right, on Billboard. And he was 85 years old. So we send our condolences out to him, his family, and all of his friends, and all the people in the music industry as well. And there you go. And here's another one, actress Stella Stevens, who appeared in a string of movies in the 1960s and 70s, including The Nutty Professor with Jerry Lewis, and a whole lot of other movies. And she passed away last Friday from Alzheimer's disease. And this was released by her son, by the way, who's an actor as well, his son, Andrew Stevens, who's also a producer and an actor, Andrew Stevens. And she had been in hospice for a very long time. I didn't even know this. She'd been in hospice, in the hospice program, quite some time, for stage 7 Alzheimer's. And so she was 84 years old. So we want to send our thoughts and all of our prayers and all of our condolences out to her family, her friends, all the people that she knew and worked with all of those years. That's Stella Stevens. There's a whole lot of action going on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time right now. We're going to link up with Brian Camp, and he's coming from Charlotte, North Carolina. And here he is with the latest developments in today's world of sports. Hello, Brian.
Hello to you and to everybody out there that's watching and tuning in to Talk Back Live. Yes. Correction. Abraham Lincoln's birthday was February 12th.
What did I say?
The 16th. The 16th of February.
Okay. But okay, you know where I messed up there. He's the 16th president.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
He's the 16th president. And I remember back in the day, we used to get 2 holidays off. We used to get off for Lincoln and Washington's birthday.
That's right. I mentioned that.
Yeah, but then what you said is true, that they combined it and made it all President's Day, which, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But really, what they really did was they want to put it split down the middle for Lincoln and Washington, and make it on, I guess that's the second Monday of every month of every February, the second Monday in February. But that's basically, it was Lincoln and Washington, why they divided it up. Instead of making it 2 holidays, they made it into 1 holiday and call it President's Day.
And it's no longer about Lincoln and Washington anymore. It's presidents. So they're celebrating presidents, past and present. Yeah,
exactly right. Yeah. So but that's how it is. Yeah. But it is 71 degrees out here in the Queen City of Charlotte. It was a beautiful day.
Go up to 80 degrees yesterday?
Not yesterday. Yesterday was like 74, 75. Today's high was 79.
Because, okay, maybe it's today I was talking about, because I was listening to one of my local stations here in New York, and they were doing the weather, and they said Charlotte, North Carolina, 80 degrees.
Yeah. Some parts of North Carolina did get up to 80. Today we went up to 79. Okay. Depends on where you live at, but it was very breezy. I mean, it was a vicious breeze, but it was a warm, gusted breeze. And then you didn't even have to put on no air. You just open up the windows and the air just flew throughout the entire area and everything. It was very nice. And it was great weather. But yes, so that's where we're at. But let me get to sports. This day in sports, February 16th, 1934, Casey Stengel becomes manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers. Never knew that because he was always Yankee affiliate. So 1964, Charlie O. Finley signs a 4-year lease to keep the A's in Kansas City. Charlie Finley has been known for his ownership of the Oakland A's back in the early 70s and won 3 championships. Had a lot of free agents, had to break up the team because he couldn't pay them, went into financial difficulties. 1968, Wilt Chamberlain becomes the first NBA player to score 25,000 points. 1991, North Carolina, first NCAA college basketball team to win 1,500 games. Yes. Birthdays this day. 1929, Elston Howard, Major League Baseball catcher, first African-American Yankee, New York Yankee. Yes, the Yankees was the first to hire African-American, which was Elston Howard. Was born in St. Louis, Missouri. 1941, Ron Hunt. Many of you don't remember Ron Hunt. Ron Hunt used to get hit by the pitch every time just to get on base. I think he had a record, but I didn't think the late Don Baylor took that record for being the most hitted batsman in Major League Baseball history. Today was his birthday. He was also born in St. Louis, Missouri. 1937, legendary coach Tom Osborne, NCAA football coach for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, was born in Hastings, Nebraska. 1943, today, Fred Biletnikoff, football wide receiver for the Oakland Raiders, was born in Erie, Pennsylvania. 1951, Ed Too Tall Jones used to play for the Dallas Cowboys. The defensive end was born in Jackson, Tennessee. 1963, Bobby Bonilla, Major League Baseball outfielder, was born in New York City, New York. And in 1995, Andrew Wiggins, NBA small forward, was born in Toronto, Ontario. Yes. Congratulations to Serena Williams. She will be honored at the NAACP Image Awards this weekend for her tennis achievements, business success, and efforts to uplift the community. Now, the NAACP announced Thursday that Williams will receive the Jackie Robinson Sports Award during the ceremony, which will air live Saturday on BET. And the award recognizes individuals in sports for high achievement in athletic sports with their pursuit of social justice, civil rights, and community involvement. So congratulations to the great Serena Williams, who's done a lot for tennis and for African Americans in their communities. Now, this is my last segment of the last installment of Black History. As we know, we are celebrating Black History Month, and I'm so glad to be doing this last one. Everybody has a role model that they look up to. I know yours is Allan Freed, and everybody has their mine is Muhammad Ali. Not for what he did in the boxing ring. We know what he did in the boxing ring is what he did outside of the ring. He was legendary. He wasn't beloved at first, but he took a stance. Without question, Muhammad Ali transformed the world of sports, winning the heavyweight title 3 times. He was the first heavyweight boxer to win the title 3 times, beginning with a shocking upset over Sonny Liston in 1964, which made him the youngest boxer to unseat an incumbent heavyweight champion. Ali is considered alongside Joe Louis and Sugar Ray Robinson as one of the best boxers ever to enter into the ring. Though his style was unorthodox and an affront to boxing pursuits at the time, his dazzling combination of speed and power, it revolutionized the sport, where a lot of boxers could not do that and could not get away with it. But he had a way of doing things. Now, he probably was a person that did it just to antagonize his opponent, but he was successful with it. But his achievements in the ring have also earned him the Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Century in 1999. It was really Ali's appeal outside the arena that made him perhaps the most recognized and beloved figure on the planet, other than Jackie Robinson, who shattered baseball racial barrier in 1947. No one can revile his impact on transcending of the 20th century American sports figure. The only things quicker than his fists and his feet were his mind and mouth, speaking truth or power. Ali said things that was very confrontational, even arrogant at times, but he always maintained his belief. He always expressed himself with this forth righteousness and not to mention a small amount of charm. And he was opposed of the Vietnam War. He refused to go. It almost landed him in jail. But he stood forth. He stood against America's laws. He said, "I am not going to fight in a war that where these people," talking about the North Vietnam War, that did not do anything to his people. So he says, why should I go over there? There's more to it. Of course, I'm not going to read and go over everything, but he stood for social justice. He was an activist. For years, he always recorded the famous James Brown, "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud." And Muhammad Ali was one of the greatest, my favorite, my role model. And I really miss him and for what he stood for. Great boxer, of course. That's why he's considered the greatest of all time. So I salute you, Muhammad Ali, formerly known as Cassius Clay. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
Okay, you're right. Alan Freed was my role model. But I got to tell you, it wasn't just Alan Freed that I admired. I admired Alan Freed for radio.
Jackie Wilson.
Jackie Wilson.
Yes.
There you go, Jackie Wilson.
Yes.
For performing, stage performance, it was Jackie Wilson.
Yes.
Muhammad Ali, I adored. It used to be Floyd Patterson, my all-around, all-time boxer. But when Muhammad Ali, back in those days when he was Cassius Clay, he came on the scene, I didn't like him too much because he talked too much. And then I learned, I said, this guy's crazy. Nobody ever said or did what he did. And I didn't like him because he was talking too much. And then I thought, after, hearing him and hearing him on TV and radio, and he backed up everything he said, I said, well, you can't fight with him. He backed up everything he said,
Yes, he did. Yeah.
He said he was the greatest. And I don't know of a boxer that came along that could match him these days. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are good boxers that came behind him, but, to me, Ali, the greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time, yes.
Greatest of all time. I had the pleasure of meeting him, too.
Yeah, I never got a chance to meet him. I always wanted to meet him, but,
and I never got a chance to stand on stage with Jackie Wilson either.
Yeah. I think I had that privilege, right? Yes, I think I recall I was very young. I vaguely remember I was on stage. I think more like you took my hand and just brought me on stage and everything. And I was scared to dance. And everybody, all the kids, that Jackie Wilson got all the kids to come up on stage. And I was scared. I didn't, all these thousands of people watching me, and I was standing there and refused to dance. But I was, if I would have known that, I would have danced. I would have done something as a little boy.
Something, I brought you up there selfishly because that was my way of trying to get closer to Jackie Wilson.
Yeah.
And I think I was about 14 years old at the time.
Yeah.
And you were up on the stage.
Yeah.
And I just never had any luck. My mom had a chance to meet Alan Freed.
Oh, really? Okay. I never knew that. Okay.
I was angry. I said, I can't win for anything. But I did win one thing though. My mom used to be, she loved Lena Horne. She loved Lena Horne.
Oh, yes.
And I got to meet Lena Horne.
Oh.
I got to meet Lena Horne. And of course, when I met her, it was under of a circumstance that I didn't appreciate. William B. Williams, the disc jockey, a famous disc jockey, who played all of that kind of music, right?
Yeah.
Died. So we went to his funeral, and she was there. And so I got to meet her after the service. And I even pecked her on the cheek. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I would have never washed my mouth ever again if that was the case. Yes.
Yeah, so I got a little lucky in certain ways, but you know, you get a chance to meet the people that you enjoy. Yeah, but Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time.
Yes.
Oh
Great.
boy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
before I go, I have one movie, since it was Black History Month.
I know
that
what
ends
you're gonna
this
say.
week. No, it's not. It's not what you think. It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's called the Legend of Bill Russell. It's a 2-episode.
Bill Russell.
Yes, it's a 2-episode documentary, and it's Netflix. It's the first episode is 1 hour and 36 minutes. The second and last episodes are 1 hour and 46 minutes. I knew about Bill Russell. I knew what he went through, but man, I didn't know there was some details that I did not know. And he really went through a lot. And what an activist, a man that fought on the court, off the court. And I mean, if you think Dr. Martin Luther King went through something, wow. I mean, nobody can compare to Dr. Martin Luther King, but from a sports figure, what Bill Russell had to go through was really amazing. I'm telling you, before the month is over, you have to see it. It's only for 2 episodes.
Mhm.
Go see it. Bill Russell, the legend. It's on Netflix now.
And in commemoration of Black History Month, since we're talking movies, I might as well say this, that on movies, that's the name of the channel, Movie Channel. It's not, remember the Movie Channel? It's not that movie channel that you think. It's just called Movies. And it's a channel that played classic movies. I just, before coming on the air, I was watching an old movie from 1950 with Sidney Poitier called No Way Out. Wonderful movie, a great movie. That was when he was in his infancy in Hollywood.
Right.
But Sunday, they're going to play a couple of Harry Belafonte movies and Dorothy Dandridge movies. One of them is going to be Carmen Jones, and I can't remember what the other one is going to be, but it starts at 1:30.
I remember Carmen Jones. Yeah, I remember Carmen Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, and it starts at 1:30 Sunday in the afternoon. And then on Tuesday, they're going to do some, I think they're going to do a string of Black movies in commemoration of Black History Month, starting at, I think, noon, or you're going to have to check the time. You're going to have to check the time and look at the schedule. But
what channel is that again?
It's called Movies.
Movies. Okay.
You know, it's on cable. You can get it. It's not the
I
movie.
probably got to look at. Yeah.
It's just called Movies.
Movies.
And I don't know what channel it is where you are, but you scam through it. And you know something, speaking of going through channels, and you and I talked about this, you know that TV, that channel, News Nation, because we were talking about
Chris Cuomo.
Do you know I can pick that up? I
have yet to find it. I cannot find that channel.
It's on cable.
It's on cable. Okay.
You have cable in conjunction with.
But I for some reason I have a hard time getting it, so I'm gonna have to look at it. I want to try to search it again. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know it. I was thumbing through going through the remote control. I was going, channel surfing, and boom, it popped. That's it, man, so I put it in my favorites. So all I have to do is press the button, it'll go straight to it. But yeah, so now I can see Chris Cuomo, and he's actually giving CNN some competition here.
Yeah, well, that's another story for another time. Don Lemon is on his way out.
Yeah, but yeah, it's the situations around there.
I know.
That's another story.
Another story for another day. Yeah.
When more scandalous stories come up, I guess then they'll be worth talking about. But right now,
Got to be careful what you say.
Got to be very careful what you say.
Very careful, yeah.
And don't think because you're there that you are equal to the people that are there working with you.
That's right.
You know, you got to be very careful. I've seen it. I've lived that. I lived it. Right. I've seen it all. And but we'll talk more about that if anything occurs.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you're back tomorrow?
Back tomorrow, regular time. I'll be back.
Good. And that sounds good to me. So we'll look forward to seeing you then.
All right. Enjoy the night.
Right. You take care of yourself. Okay, Brian, ladies and gentlemen, that was Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports. He'll be back here tomorrow on the 2020 feature. He'll be here 20 past the hour. And he's going to bring us the latest developments in today's world of sports, 20 to the hour. DJ Pete normally here, but DJ Pete can't be here tomorrow for good reason. For good reason. I mean, he's got a snowstorm that just won't quit, and that's going to affect his communication with us. So we're going to fill in for him, do the same thing. He left us information, so we're going to take care. He even called me tonight just to remind me, so I don't envy you, DJ Pete. I do not envy you at all. I feel for you, but I do not envy you at all. And speaking of snow, I will never say we dodged a bullet, because the minute I say that, we're going to get dumped on. So New York, so far, we didn't have any snow at all. I mean, if we did, we got little flakes, and it didn't stick, at least not where I live. But I don't want to talk about it, because if I mention it too much, we're going to get dumped on, because frankly, we're due for it. But I'm not going to say anything about it. Just let it lie and see if we can get by it. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live, and you and I are talking back live. We're here with you up until the top of the hour, and you can join in, and you could even start a conversation if you want to say something in particular. We will be glad to oblige you, and we'll talk about it. So all you have to do is just type in, let your fingers do the walking. I will see you right there on the big screen, and we'll talk more about it. Now, if you're going to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to talk about the news on TV, one of the big news on TV today is the hearings. And was Alex, what was the guy's name that killed his wife, or they claimed that killed his wife and his son? Alex, I can't remember his last name, but I got to tell you, when it comes to that, I'm totally ignorant, because I didn't get a chance to see everything. They had all day from 9:30 to 5:30 this afternoon, Eastern. They had he testified on his own behalf. And so I didn't get a chance to see everything, because I had so many things going on during the day. And it didn't allow me to actually sit down and watch it, which I know a lot of people did. A lot of people did sit back and relax and watched it. But I didn't get a chance to do it because there was so many things going on. But I'll catch up on anything. I'll catch up. Murdoch is his name, Alex Murdoch. Alex Murdoch. And of course, as I said, he was the guy that's accused of killing his wife and his son. All right. And so I am going to try to catch up on it. I'll have to see all of the highlights, and maybe I can talk something intelligent about it tomorrow. But we'll see what happens. I'll see what happens. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started right now, because it's this day in history. Now, and on this day in history, 1927, U.S. President Calvin Coolidge creates Federal Radio Commission. On this day in history, 1936, the first rocket airmail flight in Greenwood Lake, New York. On this day in history, 1939, the 11th Academy Awards, You Can't Take It With You, goes to Spencer Tracy and Bette Davis. On this day in history, in 1940, Walt Disney's animated movie Pinocchio was released. On this day in history, in 1947, U.S. General Eisenhower opens drive to raise $170 million in aid for European Jews. On this day in history, in 1950, the seventh the Golden Globes, All the King's Men goes to Broderick Crawford and Olivia de Havilland back in 1950. On this day in history, in 1956, the 13th Golden Globes, East of Eden, goes to Ernest Borgnine and Anna Magnani. Anna Magnani, she's an old Italian actress, and she made it to the big screen. She played in that movie with called The Rose Tattoo with Burt Lancaster. On this day in history, 1957, Mr. Wonderful closed at the Broadway Theater in New York City after 383 performances. On this day in history, in 1959, KVIE TV Channel 6 in Sacramento, Stockton, California, a PBS station, begins broadcasting. On this day in history, in 1963, Luciano Pavarotti, big Italian singer, he makes his debut at the Vienna State Opera in Paris. On this day in history, in 1964, the Beatles' third appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show, featuring 3 performances taped on February 9th prior to their debut. On this day in history, in 1965, Constance Baker Motley was elected Manhattan Borough President of New York City. In 1979, George Harrison releases the George Harrison album, and it features the single Blow Away. Back in 1985, U.S. Senate conference, the U.S. Senate confirms Edwin Meese as the 75th Attorney General. In 1991, U.S. President George H.W. Bush gives Iraq a 24-hour deadline to withdraw from Kuwait or face ground war. Ooh, that's terrible. Okay, in 1997, NBC TV shows Schindler's List. Remember that movie? A great movie, Schindler's List, completely uncensored, and it drew 65 million viewers. In 2003, the 45th Grammy Awards, Don't Know Why, goes to Norah Jones, a wonderful song. She won that year in 2003. Okay, civil rights activist W.E.B. Du Bois was born on this day in 1868, and his birthplace was in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. He died August 27th, 1963, at the age of 95. Movie director Victor Fleming was born on this day in 1889 in Pasadena, California. He died January 6, 1949, at the age of 59 years old from a heart attack. In 1940, actor Peter Fonda was born here in New York City, and he passed away in 2019. In 1944, blues guitarist Johnny Winter was born in Leland, Mississippi. He passed away in 2014. Actress Dakota Fanning was born on this day in 1994. Young Dakota Fanning, she was born in Conyers, Georgia. And she's 29 years old today. Boy, time goes by. I remember when she was a little girl. I watched her grow. She's nice. She's a full-grown woman now. How do you like that? Okay, in 1974, U.S. Governor Jeb Bush weds Columba, that's her name, Columba Bush, in Austin, Texas. In 2003, actor Paul Rudd was publicist Julie Yeager. In 2013, Married with Children actress Christina Applegate, who played Kelly, she weds rocker Martin Lenoble in Los Angeles, California. Stan Laurel of Laurel and Hardy died on this day in 1965 at the age of 74 years old. And he was born June 16th, 1890, and he was born in Lancashire, England. In 1995, Melvin Franklin of the Temptations died at the age of 52. In 1997, jazz drummer Tony Williams died at the age of 51. We're not going to confuse Tony Williams, the jazz drummer, with Tony Williams of the Platters. This was Tony Williams. He's a jazz drummer, a jazz drummer. And he died at 59. And finally, the year 2007, singer Donnie Brooks died on this day. And he was born in 1936. And that's this day in history. And just in case there's some history that should be made that we should know about, and I didn't mention it, and you know about it, please forward it. Type it out there. I'll see it. I will, of course, acknowledge it, and I will put it out there. So thank you so much for that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in case you want to get in touch with me personally, and some people do, so I want to give you my email address and my telephone number because there's a way that you can do that, right? So here's my email address. It's frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Now, you can call me as well. Give me a call because I have a telephone number, and the telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Now, anything that you have to say about the show, if you want to have questions about the show, why we're here, what are we doing here, why do we come here each week, I will be able to answer those questions for you. Even if you want to say hello, or maybe you have some ideas that you want us to implement in the show, or anything at all like that, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you, because a lot of people, you know, they don't want to interact live on the air. And, you know, this is another safe way. You're shy, you're camera shy, or video shy, or whatever it is. This is another way to get in touch with me. So let me give you that email address once again. It's frankallenprod@aol.com. Remember to spell Allan, A-L-L-A-N. That's A-L-L-A-N. Prod is P-R-O-D. That's short for productions. frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Or call us at 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. I want to say hello to each and every one of you. Again, if you're watching us on Facebook, you have a little time left. Whatever time that's left, you can tag the show to your friends and they'll jump in and they'll see you just as well. And who knows, they may like it. They may become a regular just like you. And if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do that, because that'll give you an opportunity to know when we come on live or when we post a video or a photo, and you'll get that notification. It'll pop right up. And of course, you can come directly to us. And don't forget, it's free. No money involved, no ID, no nothing. Just come right on in each week. And those of you who are watching us on Instagram, I want to say hi to you guys. Wave. I see a lot of waves out there, so I just want to wave to you guys. And be part of us. That's all we ask. And we're always glad to have you out there each week to indulge us. So thank you so much for your time. One of the things I wanted to put out there, and you heard on, and the reason why I want to put out there, because this has to do with media. And I would consider this young man a colleague, even though I don't know him, never met him. But if you're in this business, people that you don't even know or you never even met, you would consider they are your colleagues in this business. Whether you're in radio, everyone is your colleague. Anyone in radio, and you're in radio, everyone is your colleague. If you're on TV, you're doing news, or you're a journalist, whatever, they're all colleagues. So I consider this young man a colleague. You heard about the story about this 19-year-old kid shot his girlfriend or his wife or whatever. Well, he's 19. I don't think he was married to, but he shot his girlfriend. Maybe it was his wife. I don't know. Shot her, and a 9-year-old girl, which was her daughter, her 9-year-old girl. The woman is still alive. She's on critical. The little girl, 9 years old, is dead. Also in the shooting, there was a reporter from Spectrum News 13 in Florida, Orlando, Florida. You heard it. You heard this news, right? Spectrum News. He was out doing a story a young reporter, 24 years old, by the name of Dylan Lyons. Our colleague, Dylan Lyons, was out there trying to get the story, and his photographer was there. The photographer and Dylan got shot. Unfortunately, Dylan didn't make it. Dylan got killed in the process of it all. The photographer is in the hospital trying to recover. We don't know the condition. We don't even know the condition of the mom just yet. That story goes on. You will find out more as it goes on. But young Dylan Lyons, and I say young because he was only 24 years old. He was only out there to get the news. He died getting the news. And this man who was doing all the shooting, they have him in custody now. He was a 19-year-old kid. And he has a track record. This kid has a track record from 5 years ago. So if you do the math, this guy started his venture or his conquest at the age of 14 years old. If his track record goes back to 5 years, and he's 19 now, so we're talking about 14 years old. So 14 to 19, he has that track record. Anyway, they have him in custody. So, and I hope he gets whatever he deserves. But in the meantime, we're going to remember Dylan Lyons from Spectrum News 13 in Orlando, Florida. I understand that this kid, I'm getting to know him now. This kid was put his heart and soul into this business. He really wanted to be a journalist. And he came up in Philadelphia. That's where he was born and raised, in Philadelphia. But he had family and friends in Florida, and he wanted to start his act in Florida because that's where his family and friends. He wanted to be close to his family and friends. And he did. He was hungry for this business. And if he's the kind of person that is hungry for the business and worked hard to do it, then I take my hat off to this kid, 24 years old. And I am so sorry because there was more for him to learn in this business, more for him to do, more for places for him to see. So we take our hats and our sympathies go out to the team out Spectrum News 13. And we just lost a bright and shining figure in this business. And the saga goes on too for Fox News. You heard about Fox News, right? They're mocking, I'm going to be short on this one. They're mocking Fox News 345/666 Beast Incarnate, right? You heard about them. They mocked him, and behind his back, they were saying, "Oh, you know, he's crazy," or the election was not stolen. And according to Dominion voting system, they're going to be suing. They're suing for the amount of $1.6 billion, Fox News. All right. Because these people like Carlton Tucker, people like Laura Ingraham, and what's the guy that looks like Lou Costello? Sean Hannity, all right, and they were all passing emails, or not emails, but texting each other, saying, "Oh, he lost that." They would started mocking him, and he said, "There's no way, he lost that," and they started calling on Sidney Powell, who was supposed to be the attorney, one of 345/666 Beast Incarnate, said that she was a nut job. But they're saying all of this, but they wouldn't say it on the air. And the reason why they wouldn't say it on the air, because they didn't want to lose ratings. And now that the people who follow Fox News are going to have to sit back and wonder, now that they know all this is going on, are you going to still stay with Fox News? Oh, sure, you're going to stay with Fox News because you have no place to go. But we're going to see what Dominion says. If they're going to actually sue for that kind of money, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And of course, I understand that the ratings are going down. So we'll see what happens. And Nikki Haley, she's running for president. You already know that Nikki Haley is running for president. And Nikki Haley, she's a woman of color. She's from an Indian background. and she from South Carolina. And Nikki Haley, here's the thing that I could say a lot about Nikki Haley, but one of the things I wanted to touch on, that when Nikki Haley once said that racism in America, she said, there's no racism in America. Remember when she said that? She said, there's no racism in America. Now, as great as this country is, this is the greatest country in the world. There is racism in America. And if she doesn't know that by now, then I want you to listen to this. I want you to listen to this. That author, and I think she's a crazy lady, Ann Coulter, right? She said that Nikki Haley ought to go back where she came from. I want you to listen to this soundbite.
She's a preposterous creature. But her candidacy did remind me that I need to immigrate to India so I can demand they start taking down parts of their history. The worst thing, what's the worst thing of the what will I do? Let's take down the Confederate flag from the South Carolina Capitol.
Nikki, now you know. There is racism in this country. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we right now, before we go, we want to let you know about the movies that we have, right? And I only have one this week. And I think you're going to like this. Brian, if you're still listening, you're gonna like this. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. West Side Story. This is the only movie I have this week. West Side Story from 1961, starring Richard Beymer and Natalie Wood. It's coming on this Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. It was on earlier this week. I had a chance to see it. I accidentally, after I think it was last Thursday when I got off the air. And I got home and I turned on the TV. I caught some of the tail end of it, but it's going to come on again. It's going to come on again. Those of you who missed it, it's West Side Story, 1961, and it's a pretty long movie. It's 3 hours and some odd minutes long, and that's the only movie I have. So maybe you'll enjoy that. Now there may be other great movies that you may want to see. And of course, they're all there on Turner Classic Movies. The only thing that you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is go there, right? Go there and look at the program guide. Look at the program guide. It's great. And you may see other movies that you haven't seen or that I haven't mentioned. That doesn't mean they're not good movies. It means that this was just my pick of the week. Maybe have other movies, and there are other movies that are coming on that may be Black-oriented movies, and for the courtesy of Black History Month. Check it out. You could also go there, and you could also check out other things, such as movie on demand. You'll get to see all of those movies, whether they're new movies, movies that are in the theater right now. You'll get a chance to see them. They're there. Or maybe old movies from the past. They have a whole list of them. And so you get a chance to do that. And it's all right there. So ladies and gentlemen, let me repeat that movie once again. It's West Side Story, 1961. And that stars, once again, Richard Beymer and Natalie Wood. Richard Beymer and Natalie Wood. And that's on Saturday. You can check it out this Saturday at 12 noon. Check it out, 12 noon. And that's right there on Turner Classic Movie. Okay, before I go, Jets versus the Sharks. Now, it's almost like a football game, Brian. Jets versus the Sharks. Vote. That's on West Side Story. Vote. Who is your favorite, the Sharks or the Jets? Okay, that's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. But I am going to be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and we'll have more, but we'll be with the coffee hour. Brian Kemp will be with me starting off with the 2020 feature, 20 past the hour, the latest developments in today's world of sports. DJ Pete won't be here, but I will be filling in for him for entertainment news and reciting all of those birthdays of people of notoriety. Other than that, I will be back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for more of Talk Back Live. Brian Kemp will be here just as well with more sports. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day, a great afternoon, great evening, and good night. See you soon.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allen. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.